guys, welcome to another exciting episode of the Stash Report from the Stash Project. Today's the 19th of June, 2015, and we have quite a bit of news for you this week, actually. Didn't look that way at the beginning of the week, but the end of the week has sort of flushed itself out. Got a bunch of the domestic stuff for June is out this week. Whether or not you personally can find it or not might be a different story, but it's out there. They're, either through my own vending sources I have around the house, other people who I know who have the kits, and or eBay, I can establish that you can purchase these if you go look hard enough for them. We also have a few things out of Japan, of course, as well as some release news and some move-around stuff. So, real quick, the move-around stuff. I know these probably don't really interest anybody, but we cover, everything, so be it. The Easy kits from Fujimi. These were the newer Fiat 500 and the Nissan R34 GTR. We had said they were moved to the 8th of July. They've now been pushed back literally to the end of July now, so they've slid a little bit more. The Lotus Europa. I can't think what the heck what the tagline to that is. Like Lotus Europa Special. There we go. Anyway, that's been pushed back all the way till the 30th of July now. So that was a March release originally, and it's just skidding wildly out of control at this point, I guess. I don't know exactly what the deal is there. I mean, it's a brand new tool that's not based on anything else, so that obviously there's an issue with the tooling they're not happy with, I guess. I guess that's the only two real big move announcements that we have. On kit announcements, I actually had these last week, but I completely forgot about them while I was doing it, because you may recall last week I recorded it twice, and on the second go-around I forgot. Wasn't going to do an addendum. But we found out last week, actually, the July spot runs for Fujimi. They are going to be a Nissan Skyline R32 GTS Turbo. This is like the one step below a GTR, rear-wheel drive, not all-wheel drive. It's very distinguishable between an actual GTR and the GTS. If you really go look at the pictures of the real car, pictures of the kits. This was last offered in their Touge Mountain Pass series. I don't believe it's going to be in that series this time. I believe it is just in the Inch Up series. They're going to include window masks with it, so that's the first time for the window masks. They're going to do a couple of more combination kits in July. These are July releases. We got the Nissan Skyline 2000 GT 54A and 54B. These are like early 1960s and mid 1960s four-door Nissan Skylines. Probably actually be a Datsun Skyline, technically speaking. And these are like before the GTR was ever in existence. These are both relatively new tool Fujimi kits. They're 10 years old, maybe. So they are, a good curbside. They are curbside, but they're good curbside. No motorized, this, that, or the other things. It's all, pretty decently detailed chassis. I actually have them both. I bought them separately. They're going to combine both of these kits into one box here, as the combination kits have been doing recently. There's not a whole lot of difference between the two necessarily. It is wheel covers, because there were hubcaps rather than actual wheels, and there are a few differences in like grills and bumpers and things between what basically amounts to an early version of the 2000 GT and a late production version of the 2000 GT. These, like, again, would be the cars that would slot in right before they made the 2000 GT, or what would technically be known as the KPG C10 Nissan Skyline in the late 1960s. They're going to be rerunning the Nissan Cube EX, which is the really basic version of the Nissan Cube, and the Nissan Cube, what they're calling Agi Active. It's agile and active. Ooh. I had to actually go look for that kit. I had never heard of that variation of it before, but Google is your friend, and I certainly found the box art for it. The differences between the two are the Cube EX is, like I said, a very basic Nissan Cube. It's sort of the stripped down Econo model. The Agiactive is a little sportier, different grille, different wheels, probably different. I don't know if it has different tires necessarily. Probably in real life it does, but whether or not it does in the kit, I don't know. And it's also, it's more sporty. It's agile and active compared to the base strip model. I don't know if there's any actual differences between the interiors or anything like that, because the Agiactive is an old enough kit release as far as being in the past when it came out that it's not, the instructions aren't easily found anywhere. So that's a combination of those two cars, or obviously separate kits. The EX is something that you could buy off the shelf at a well-stocked hobby shop or through HobbyLink Japan Hobby Search right now. The Agiactive hasn't been available since probably 10, 12 years since it came out. It was sort of a one-run limited production kit, and then it's never been reissued since. Those are the kit, because you can't build two models, obviously, but the kit comes with window masks. And then they're going to be reissuing, and I don't know that they need to be reissued because I can find them without a problem, but they're combining them into one kit, the Porsche Cayman and Cayman S. That would be your base model Cayman and sort of the sporty version. Those are curbside Porsches. Really hasn't been a full detail Porsche since, as far as, model-wise goes. Probably, I don't know if I guess the 959 is newer than the 85 Turbo that Fujimi did in the Enthusiast series. And the Porsche Carrera GT that Tamiya did, of course, was full detail, but there hasn't been a full detail sort of run-of-the-mill Porsche for a while. All of the 911s that Tamiya did were all curbside, and these Caymans are curbside. Again, those were separately sold, the Cayman and the Cayman S. They're combining them into one kit, and that also will include window masks. And we also got one announcement for August, and it'll be the only announcement we have for August other than the stuff that's just sliding backwards out of the summer, and that is from Hasegawa. They're going to do a limited run of their Volkswagen Type 2 van. Again, the Type 2 van is something you can buy just off the shelf at a good hobby shop or HobbyLink Japan Hobby Search. This one is going to be a anime tie-in to the Tamago Girls. I don't know. It's like upskirt Catholic schoolgirl all over your Type 2 van. That'll be a limited reissue. It's anime. It's or if what they call it, Itasca, the Pain graphics thing. It's going to be a more expensive way to get a Type 2 van, frankly. I would say, well, if you want a Type 2 van, this will be the way to get it. But the Type 2 van's available. It's in Hasegawa's catalog. It's constantly reissued. Or at least constantly restocked everywhere. It's not a hard kit to find either online in the United States even, or certainly not on eBay. So unless you specifically have a desire for Catholic schoolgirls showing you their underwear all over the side of your model, you're in trouble with your own wives on that one, guys. I ain't touching it. Then, that may be the kit for you. All right, so what came out this week? Domestically speaking, one of the round 2 kits came out, and that is the TV Dune Buggy. That has the expanded decal sheet, the ability to build it as a 3-in-1, just a stock sort of Dune Buggy, a more off-road sand-style Dune Buggy, and then a bodiless sand rail. It comes with, you may recall, the psychedelic tinted windows, as well as one in every case is going to be molded in a transparent blue metallic. Much like the original Meyer Manx that came out, those were one in a case was molded in a transparent metallic purple. So, best of luck if you're trying to get the collector's item, quote-unquote, out of that. All of the Revell kits for this month are out, and those are the 1955 Ford Panel Wagon. That's a 124-scale old monogram kit. The Tom Daniel Jinx Express, that again a 124-scale monogram show rod. It's not really a rod. It's a Brinks truck. It looks very much probably is inspired by or was either inspired by or the kit inspired. I had a Hot Wheels that looked just like this. One little legitimate little Hot Wheels that was like a Brinks truck with a drag motor sticking out of it. I don't know which made which happen first, as they're both probably about the same age. Or maybe Tom Daniels just licensed them both, and Monogram made the model kit and Hot Wheels made the car. But at any rate, it is. I don't know that it could be used for anything else necessarily. It's too much of a drag car probably to actually use the body attached to any kind of age-appropriate chassis, although there really wouldn't be an age-appropriate dually chassis anyway. But trying to make an armored truck out of it is probably not a realistic expectation. And then, of course, the modified tooling, the new kit, is going to be the 57 Ford Del Rio Ranch Wagon, the technical speaking 2-in-1, because it does include all of the police parts that were in the Model King 1957 Ford Custom police car that came out between the Custom and the Fireball Roberts NASCAR kit. I have heard from a reliable source that has the kit that Revell, and kudos to Revell, we give Revell enough shit. We give them credit when it's due. Revell did fix, or maybe it was not a fix, maybe it was always planned this way and they just never showed it, but the rear bumper is correct. The problem with the kit that I had with it and most other people had with it was when they showed off the test shots of the wagon. They may have assembled it out of parts that were available, or it was wrong to begin with, but whatever the case may be, the rear bumper on the 57 Del Rio Ranch Wagon had the I will call them gates, but that's not technically the word I'm looking for, the bumper guards that were on the Custom. The bumper guards on the Custom are, probably 4 inches tall in real life. It's this big. And in a real life situation, that would make it impossible to open your station wagon's rear door. The Del Rio Ranch Wagon in real life had very, very small bumper guards that were maybe 2 inches tall so that the door could clear it, or they didn't have bumper guards on them at all. And that is what Revell has gone with. They've gone with a rear bumper that is just plain. It has no bumper guards on it at all. That may also interest people, I don't know how well it'll fit necessarily, who want to put a plain rear bumper on a 57 Ford Custom. But that kit is out. People have it. So you can't find it, tough titties, but it is out there. If you're interested in it, the fact they fixed the bumper on it, guys, will be enough to make me go purchase it, as I was interested in the subject matter. And now that the big primary thing, there's issues with the 57 Ford as far as the front fenders and valances go and things not being quite right, but they are certainly you got to put it next to the real car to notice it kind of situation. It's not nearly as offensive as some of the other things that Revell has done. The 57 Ford was a pretty decent kit, all things considered. And this obviously just putting up, it's a 2-door wagon, guys. That's not a 4-door. The Del Rio was the competitor to the Nomad. So keep that in mind when you go look for it. It's a 2-door wagon. But like I said, it's enough for me to go snag one when I get around to it. It's not a priority by any stretch of the imagination, but I will buy one now that the bumper is correct. Also, from Mobius, the 2 F-Series pickup trucks are out. That's right. They are out. Whether or not you can find one may be a different story due to the fact that they've been, coming out for like 3 years now. So there may be a situation where your hobby shop or the online vendors that you prefer, if you choose to do your shopping that way. I know a lot of guys don't have hobby shops. They're dead. You don't live in Pittsburgh with me. You don't have 6 hobby shops. I'm sorry. The East Coast is hobby shop mecca. I have a buddy of mine lives in Columbus. They've got like 5, 6 hobby shops there. And then Jersey's full of hobby shops. Pennsylvania's full of hobby shops. I know for a lot of people, Michael's is their hobby shop. I get that. So you go online vending. The thing with the online vending, Tower Hobbies, Mega Hobby, any of those places, the fact that they've had so many pre-orders for these kits over the last 3 years, it may be a while for them to get to you and to just have them in stock, just freewheeling. Dave Burkett, the Model King, has his 69s in, as well as the 71s. If you do your stuff through Model King, your stuff will be coming sooner than later. I have one each of the 71 Ranger XLT. That is the long bed with the 390 V8 in it, as well as the Model King specific. There are only 6,000 of these kits, guys. Or at least that's what the first shipment was. I don't know if there's more coming, but usually Model King stuff is a limited run. There were 6,000 of them shipped in this initial shipment of the 69 Ford Custom short bed with the straight 6 in it. I have one of each coming from Mr. Burkett. Thank you, Frank, for going to pick my kits up. So those kits are out, and technically speaking, even though I'm in Wisconsin and the models are in New Jersey, I have them. Haha, and you don't. No, just screwing with you. But, I know those were much anticipated and much waited for. Like I said, for 3 years now, kits, and they are finally on the ground. They are in your hobby shop. Maybe depends on if your hobby shop takes pre-orders. They may have sold them all out by now. But believe me, there's enough to go around right now that you don't need to be in a panic if you can't find one right away. But chances are, if you didn't pre-order one through somebody, it may be a little while before all the orders are processed out, and there's just stock, laying around that you can pick up. And, yep, that's it for domestic side. So there's a couple of round 2 kits that we're waiting for out of June. But other than that, domestically, they're done. Now, on the import side of things, we have one reissue, one modified reissue, one spot run reissue, and one what turns out to be incredibly disappointing new kit. So, on the new side of things, quote unquote, and this is a spot run reissue technically. It's not really a new kit. And this is, of course, a 2010 Toyota Hiace Super GL done by the Silk Blaze Tuning House. This is version 3. I have never gone and checked to see if there really are 2 other versions of this. Again, the VIP American style, which is always funny because A, nobody drives a van like that here. B, you couldn't buy this van in the United States even if you wanted to. And I don't know, there really is no C. So there aren't 3 versions after all. Haha, but no. If you're interested in the VIP vans, that's available again. The quasi-modified reissue, and I don't necessarily know if we talked about this, is this 1/12 scale Team Lotus Type 49B 1968 F1 car. They've added photo etch parts to this kit. There are brand new decals with this kit. There are a set of a set of paint masks included. So you may notice if you look at this picture here, the car is gold, red, and white. Down there on the bottom, the white part, there are masks for that. So you paint the kit white. You apply the masks over your white kit, and then you paint the rest of it, or the white parts, I should say, the white kit. The white parts, you paint the rest of it red, you take the masks off, and voila, you've got your perfect little round masking around the number 10 thing. That's a nice little feature. It'd be nice if other kits came that way that require complex masking. This kit is about $126 as far as that, and that's the good exchange rate price. So you ain't picking this up for cheap. But if you wanted to build a 1/12 scale F1 car, this would be the one that you could buy right now, because I don't believe any of the other big scale series cars are out there as far as the F1 cars go. I could be wrong. I don't know enough about 1/12 F1 cars to tell you there are more in stock or not. But as far as the 1/12 scale cars that exist, it's like this, and then the the Nissan quasi Datsun 240Z, the street custom that came out. That's a big 1/12 scale car too, as well as the 1/12 scale Porsche Carrera and the 1/12 scale Ferrari Enzo. I believe those are the 4 1/12 scale kits that exist out of Tamiya currently in the catalog. This is an old kit, guys. I mean, it is like from the 1970s, early 1980s, back when Tamiya was just getting started. But it is a completely full detail kit. You get tubing, wiring, everything to do with, everything to make this kit like completely and totally full detail because of the size of it. It is a bit of an investment. Again, it's like $126, and that's without shipping. It's probably going to be another $20, $30 to ship it because it's huge. But if you're interested, this is the first time this has been available in a really long time. Plus, it's got upgrades. The other thing about this, in addition to photo etch, it's also got new turned aluminum velocity stacks for the engine. The Fujimi disappointment. This is the McLaren F1 GTR street car. This turned out to not be the McLaren F1 LM, the 5 street cars that were built to celebrate the Le Mans victory. This is, in fact, a one-off that was done by somebody who, I don't know if they owned the race car to begin with and then decided to make a street car out of it, or they just found an old race car, took it back to the factory, and they turned it into a street car. There have been a number of situations where McLaren has done that, taken the race cars and turned them into street cars. They've done that with at least 2 of the long-tail F1 GTRs as well. However, this kit is a blatant disappointment to me. I actually canceled the pre-order I had for it when I saw this come in this morning, because I'm not paying even $26 for this. This is, guys, a reissue of the race car kit, period. They may have added like the turn signals back into it, and I believe there's like a civilian rear end treatment to it, but those are just parts from the original McLaren F1 street car that came out like 3 years ago. They're not new parts. There are no new parts in this kit at all. And to add insult to injury, they included a set of race slicks with it. This is, like I said, legitimately a reboxing, period, end of story, of the race car kit. I don't believe there's any parts to this kit that aren't in the short tail race car kit, because the short tail race car kit came with a lot of the street car parts, because as you guys know, if you followed my videos for a while, Japanese don't, gate things off and exclude parts. They just throw everything in the box, whether you need it or not. The video we just did of the Countach 5000 Quattro is a great example of that. Look how many parts I was stumbling around trying to figure out what they were, because there are parts for both the LP400 and the 5000 Quattro in that box. This, if you go buy any of the race car kits, any of them, they're all the same as far as what's inside the box. The only difference is the decals to make specific liveries. You are going to find this same car in there. This is nothing but the race car painted orange. And that is a complete and total terrible disappointment to me, because this one-off car, this orange car you're looking at in this box art exists. It is a real car, but it is a street car. There are no license plates on this car. There are no license plates included in this kit. There are license plates on the real car, though, because it's street legal. This isn't street legal. This is a race car painted orange. It includes the full roll cage, and I don't believe the street car has the roll cage in it anymore. It doesn't include the street version of the engine. It has the racing engine in it, and you do have to make some changes to the race engine in order to make the car street legal, because the race car has a fuel filler on, basically on the roof, and that's not going to cut. You're not going to be able to put your pump gas in the roof. So the filter, the fuel door has to be moved. Several other minor changes have to be made. The engine restrictor is actually taken off, ironically enough. But I said I was dubious about this kit when I heard about it. I became more dubious about it when I saw the box art, and I looked at the parts content this morning, ran like heck to Hobby Link Japan as fast as I could, because I knew their stuff would come in today probably, and canceled my pre-order because I don't want this kit. And now, if you want this kit, God bless you. I mean, it is the race car kit, so if you've seen one of those, you know all the problems it has as far as the side skirts not being long enough and all the construction issues you have building it. I'm not impressed. Like I said, I'm very disappointed that this is not a new kit. It is just a orange version of an old kit. Last but not least, one other reissue. And that is this Toyota Harrier 350G Premium Package. This is a Snap-Tight kit, actually. All of the Harriers are. This, of course, being the GX Lexus in the United States. However, this is only available as a right-hand drive Japanese car. There is no left-hand drive in there, and there's certainly no Lexus logos. You could probably cut the dashboard apart and put it back together again, make yourself a left-hand drive, but then there are Lexus, I guess, logos floating around on eBay. You can usually buy most kind of logos from China, as it turns out. But as far as it goes out of the box, you can't build it as a Lexus. There are a number of Aoshima kits that are pending, like literally going to drop any day now. We've got official box art for several of the June releases, so they're literally going to come out this week probably. The Countach may be the only thing for June that may slide into July as far as the newer stuff goes. The GTR, the Nissan GTR, the North American version, will make it. Technically speaking, it exists, but we're not going to talk about it because technically speaking, it's not in the vendors yet. And then the other stuff is our spot runs. I believe that Countach is probably going to be maybe first week of July, because we're as of last Sunday, they're waiting on licensing approval from Lamborghini. to approve the box art. But the Nissan box art is done. That means the kit is ready to ship. The Nissan Patrol with the wagon, the old Nissan Safari, I believe is how it's boxed with Nissan Patrol, was what it's called in Japan, or outside of Japan rather. That weird little fire truck that belongs to the Takino Katabi or Kanabi TV series, that'll probably make it out before the end of June. And then the Golf McLaren will maybe make it out before June. Hobby Link Japan says that's a July release, but like I said, the box art is officially done, so I believe that'll probably ship this month as well. And then we'll see what happens with B-Max. And we have one more kit out of Fujimi for June. That's the new 2013 Lexus 600 HL. That's scheduled to come out on the 30th, and then the Land Cruisers and the Toyota AA are supposed to come out on the 25th. So we should get everything in. It's going to be a real, I said last week, it'll be a real active last week of June here. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoy, and we'll catch you guys on the other side.